Hello, hello. Happy Friday. How we doing, Johnny Mo?
Happy Friday, son of Harry.
It's been a wild few weeks here and got a rainy one today, so it's a good day to come on and do a little update, let people know what we're up to and see what's going on. So what's new in your world?
Oh, my world, nothing, man. Just keep moving, changing, implementing business stuff, and changing the world one day at a time.
That's the moral of the story. So I got a call a couple days ago from a referral agent that I've worked with before that was had an investor looking for some stuff, and he was like, "Oh, I got your voicemail and saw that you changed to EXP." And I'm like, "Yeah, I said I did that a little while ago." And he asked me the question why, and it got into a whole conversation that got him thinking. But you made the change too, and it's something that I don't think we've talked about a lot. We kind of quietly made the shift because it made sense for us, and I've only been at KW until now, so for me it was a big change. But um, you and I talked about it as we looked to make this change. We had very different reasons for doing it. So I thought it might be good to get a little bit into that was kind of the big change we've made. So what drove you to make that change, Johnny Mo? Why change from KW to EXP?
No, I want to preface this with I've been there before.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, and each time I made the decision, each time I make a decision, lots of thought goes in and what's going on in the world at this particular point, what's going on with me personally, what's going on with business. So I don't just make spontaneous business decisions, right? But it's really two pieces. I think we have some symmetry on the second piece, so I won't go too deep into that. But I'll go into the first piece. I'm 51 years old. It's my retirement plan.
Mm.
Okay, my number is 250,000. So I had to ask myself, I'm 51. Will I be in this industry in 10 years? Will I still be working in 10 years? The answer to that obviously is yes. Even if I hit Powerball, I'll be working. I've been in the real estate industry for 20 years. Okay, so it's only logical that I will stay there. Not working like a donkey, running around, none of that. I can make my money that way. I
Mm.
don't want to make my money that way. I want to
Yep.
enjoy life. I want some joy in my life. I want happiness in my life. I want my weekends off with my family, my friends, to do whatever I want to do. So I know I can make my money however I need to make my money. But for me, it was a real simple decision. It's $250,000 more that's being put into my pocket over the next decade. Okay, real numbers. See, the cap where we were was $25,000, right? That includes the cap and the 6% extortion fee. So that comes out to 25,000 a year. Well, my cap here is 16,000. So that's a difference of 9,000. Plus, I'm going to get $16,000 in stock from Iconing, right? Where you cap out and you sell another, I believe it is 20 houses. So that's really in my market, in our market, about 24 homes a year.
Yep.
That's my goal. That's my focus. At the end, it's $250,000. A lot of stock, well, some in savings right now that I'll be able to reinvest or use, but also that stock. And when I'm 61 years old and I look and I have a nest egg of $180,000 in stock built up, and it'll be more than that.
Mhm.
The way the plan is, that's a pretty good number to roll into my retirement age with. Nobody else is giving that to me. That is my exit and retirement plan, with on top of some hard assets like 4 families and such.
Yeah, I mean it's $90,000 in cash over
Mhm.
that period. $160,000 worth of stock that you haven't paid for. It's free. You earned it. 250K. The math is pretty easy. And what I like is that you're getting that in some stock. You're getting that in stock of a company that's growing. Um, that will be worth more than you're going to get 16,000. That first 16,000 is going to be worth significantly more than that at the end of 10 years. The second 16,000 is going to be worth more. Just you continue to pile and generate appreciation. So it
Yeah,
is
well, we hope it will
very
be,
different.
right?
Yeah.
And that's the plan, and that's why we invest in stocks and IRAs, and we're hoping that what we put in now is worth more, and that's why we get that little tax benefit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or
So
pre-tax benefit, however you want to do it.
yeah, but it's real money. It's real money and
It's real
real
money.
opportunity.
It's my money.
Yeah, it
I
is.
can either give it to somebody that doesn't need it or give it to myself who needs it. And at this point, Harrison, I've given for the last since 2013. I've given to this industry. It's time for me to take. And I'm unapologetic about it.
Yep.
I'm unapologetic about it. I've helped thousands of people. I'm going to help me now. That's it. You know what I mean? Come with me. I want to bring everybody with me like the Pied Piper. So come along if you want, reach out to me. But I'm focused on me now. I'm focused on me now. And this is a big change for me because it allows me also to build my network across the country and allows me to do things with you or myself or with other partners that I cannot do where we were. I cannot do where we were because you've met that resistance. The resistance doesn't exist. It's gone. It's just gone. It does not exist. Okay. So let me hear about you. What was your reason? I know the nuts and bolts of the reason because I was the little bird chirping in your ear the whole time.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was. I mean, the money piece honestly came to me second. And I think for you and I, where we're at slightly different stages in our own careers, I've still got that growth focus and that want to help focus and build and develop. So to me, I immediately went to it. It's real estate without boundaries is kind of how I explained it. I got my broker's license, and I considered flying my own flag, being my own broker. And when I broke that all down, looked at the cost of doing it, the compliance of doing it, I just went blah. Like that's a lot. It's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of legal compliance. It's a lot of, dealing with all the stuff when it goes bad. And I don't necessarily want to spend my time on that, but I want the autonomy of being a broker. I want to be able to operate my own way. I want to be able to design a team in my own way. I want to be able to put an office where I want to put an office and not have to go ask and beg permission to do so. So what I found with EXP was there's no franchise offices. There's no franchise locations. I can put an office wherever I want as long as I tell them about it. I can operate like a broker. I can run my team however I want, splits however I want, structures however I want, size however I want. But I can also operate that team anywhere. So I can operate that team anywhere in the country, really in theory, anywhere in the world that there's EXP, because it is literally a cloud-based global office. So I don't have to worry about, am I tripping on some other market center or local offices? Am I playing in their sandbox? Doesn't matter. Like it's all wide open. So to me, it was, I can be a broker without having to be the broker. I get that autonomy, that freedom, that flexibility to operate my business the way that I want to. And oh, by the way, there's all these other benefits that you already explained. But what I found interesting is that some of the people that I've worked closely with and I've coached and masterminded with a lot of the top agents at a bunch of these different brokerages. When I explain that to a lot of them, they kind of have that light bulb moment of, oh wow, that'd be nice. Like it'd be nice to not have to ask permission to add somebody or change my split or tweak my structure or open an office. Like what would that be like if I had that kind of flexibility and autonomy? So for me, it was, I want to grow. I want to grow outside of just the area that I'm in because I was doing expansion where I was. It was just too hard. Like it was just very, very difficult. So now I'm able to do it at a much higher level, with much greater flexibility and much greater scale and speed because I don't have all the red tape. I don't have all the hurdles I've got to climb. And I also don't run the risk of running into somebody in an office who just doesn't like it and can stop me from doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it was all about that. I can be a broker without being a broker. Makes me very happy to be able to do that. And now we're off and running. And
that company we came from, Harrison, and I'm not about bashing or anything else like that. So I don't want it to be that way. But you just said something. Somebody there can stop you from doing something because it is very fraternal. It is very corporate tea. Okay. Yep. It's very favored. And this is what I'm talking about is my problem with the entire industry. Yeah. You're only recognized if your name has the sales. That's it. You are the director of growth of one of their largest teams.
Yeah, top
one of the company's largest teams in New England. And when you approach them about starting your own thing, they said you don't have the experience or the sales. Mm-hmm. However, you were the person that helped to do this.
Right.
Okay. And for them to say that, it's just like, it shows that there's favoritism. Where when you
Yeah.
brought the idea to EXP, they're like, no problem.
They're like, okay,
No,
you do you.
no problem. We'd love
Yeah.
to help you do that.
Well,
You
and
see,
that's
over
that's
here
the
you
most.
met resistance, and over here you met open arms. And this is the problem, I think, with companies in general, is they're holding on too hard to that little bit of control that they have over what? Over what? The name, the culture, or whatever like that. I'm an entrepreneur. I know what I want to do. I want to run my business the way that I want to run my business. The name on the sign doesn't matter.
Right.
Never has, never will.
No,
Where
it
can
doesn't.
I run my business, and what I look like, what I look at from a technical standpoint at what the EXP organization has created. Now, this might, some people might not understand what I'm about to say, and I don't mean that condescendingly. If you've never developed a website, then you might not understand what I'm about to say, but y'all have heard of WordPress. All WordPress did was create a platform, a SaaS in general, SaaS, software as a service. They created a SaaS that people can plug into their products and build their products and their themes and their all the plugins and everything else like that. Now, when you go to WordPress, you choose what theme you want. Do I want the Divi theme? Do I want this plugin? Do I want that to happen? Do I want this blog? Do I want this email? Do I want this e-commerce? You're able to pull these. EXP's allowed the same thing to say, here's the framework. We got the legalities covered. You can operate in all 50 states, Canada, and a bunch of other ones. All you need to do is have an agent that has some ethics and decent standing, and they're approved. They come into the ecosystem, and that managing broker, that BIC handles everything. You don't have to worry about it. Then you can just operate on what you're supposed to as the entrepreneur, and that's your team, your growth or your expansion partners.
Yeah.
None of this, I need approval from my team leader, need approval from the other team leader. Need approval from both OPs, need approval from both regional directors, and then finally get corporate approval. 7 layers of approval gone.
Yep.
7 layers of red tape gone. Just gone. Doesn't exist anymore.
No, it doesn't. And what I like is when you go to these folks at EXP and say, hey, I want to do this, they say, okay, great. Like, how can we help? Whereas in the past, they used to get, well, read handbook page 502. Okay. I can do that, or you can just help me. Like, that would be terrific. But there's actually a comment in the chat. I'm not sure who put it in there, but it's, I never want to be a broker for that reason. Yeah. Same. I got my broker's license. I was like, yeah, I could totally fly my own flag. But when I broke down what it required and cost and where I'd spend my time, nope. For $16K a year, I'm happy to pay for that and let somebody else deal with it.
For $16,000 a year, you just hired not only one, you hired 50 managing brokers. This is what people don't understand. They're so anti it because they don't understand it. People fear what they don't understand.
Right.
I don't care. If we just call the company blue, I'm fine with that. Right.
It doesn't matter.
If you all call this company red or that one blue, or whatever, take the name out of it. Take what you think you know out of it. And understand that for $16,000, you can operate. That's like buying into a franchise. Imagine being able to buy into a Dunkin' Donuts franchise. But I don't need Dunkin' Donuts regional approval or market share. I can just open up Dunkin' Donuts wherever the hell I want around the country.
Yeah.
For $16,000, you'd be obtuse not to consider the opportunity that's there. The problem, I think, and it goes back to something that I've talked about in this industry for at least the past decade, most real estate agents are salespeople, and that's it. End of sentence. They're not business owners. They're not entrepreneurs. They are sales people, and what they're looking for is the sales opportunity, the camaraderie. I go into the office. There's nothing they are going to teach me in that office. There's nothing. I consult with the person who was instrumental in creating Realtor.com. I consult with a person that was instrumental in creating AI tools and everything else like that. Until you bring something that level in, at best it's rudimentary. I have the top ranking YouTube channels in Maine. Yet you think I could get into any one of the regional market centers that were our friends to train them on how to do it? No, it was like pulling teeth. Yeah. And what happens? We're not even at this other company yet. And we got somebody that's high up saying, I want to get you into our training program because we need this.
Yep.
There's a difference. I want to be accepted. So you know what? If I have to go to the land of misfit toys to be accepted, then I'm at the land of misfit toys with a cup of coffee and a big old smile versus doing jumping jacks. I remember years ago, a friend of mine got a divorce and his counselor said, it's usually the women who are doing jumping jacks are the ones that you want to stay away from, right? Well, I don't want to be doing jumping jacks to get somebody's attention. Period. End of it. Period.
Well,
they drove us away because they're afraid of innovation.
Well, that was there's two big takeaways in that for me and what I learned through this whole thing is that the big box brokerages, think of the brick and mortar big box brokerages. They are to a certain extent in competition with the agents. They want to sell you their training programs, all their add-on services, all their ancillary services. They want to sell those to you. When you have something that competes with them, they're not going to support it. Mm-hmm. So the only thing those agencies really support is the sales activity of the agent. Anything outside of that, they don't like to support. And in many cases, they'll do what they need to do to squash it because you are, to a certain extent, in competition with your brokerage. Second to that is that what I learned in all this is that because of that, when you look at the folks at EXP, and in full disclosure, I said for years, I will never go there. It's an MLM. It's a recruiting organization. It's obnoxious. It's silly. It's a fad. I'll never do it. But then you actually get behind the scenes and see the people that are there, what they're doing, and you go, oh, wow. At most of your brick and mortar traditional brokerages, you have agents that run businesses. When you get to EXP, you find entrepreneurs that are in real estate. And the mindset of the person you're dealing with is so different because they've built these big networks, these big sales businesses, these ancillary businesses. And that's, my one of my biggest interest levels is these ancillary businesses, all the ways you can serve the same consumer. And I came up in the consumer packaged goods world, which is the more you help the consumer, your consumer being the retailer, the more important you are to them. It's all about the share of customer. So when you have sales and insurance and mortgage and title and property management, all that stuff under one roof, the consumer calls you once and solves all their problems. Now your level of value goes way up because you're helping them in every way you can. Doesn't mean you have to run each one of those businesses. You can find operating partners, but you're serving the same consumer. So why not utilize that database for multiple reasons? And that was why I've built around me what I've built. That at EXP, they're like, oh my goodness, that's the model. You should be doing that. And we can show you how to do it even better, or we'll help you do it. We certainly won't stop you from doing it. We love the fact you've got all your own services. And I look at it as also on terms of serving the agent, because as I begin to scale out the network you talked about and the team, kind of local, but also national, we can bring to them coaching, training, courses, AI, funnels, and we'll get into all the stuff we're building. Media, content creation, content coaching, distribution, optimization, SEO. Like we have all these people in our network right now that are helping the agents we work with blow their businesses up, just blow their. We have agents right now that are at the top of their MLSs and growing where everybody else is declining. 80% of agents right now are absolutely struggling. 20% of agents are doing all the business. And actually, if you look at the NAR stats, it's more like 15% or 10% of agents are doing most of the business now.
87, 13. I mean, it's real.
Yeah, it's always held true. And we work with a lot of agents right now that are blowing their businesses up with all the stuff we do. The AI, the SEO, the systems, the content, the video, the distribution, all that stuff, because it works. But it's also the future, because the industry is changing. The consumer is starting their home buying and selling research online. And if they don't find you, then you've lost your shot. Right. And you've lost your shot. If they're searching for best places to work, or how do I sell my house, or what does the market look like, and your videos or your face doesn't pop up, somebody else's is, and they're working with them. So the industry's changing. Some agents and brokerages are open to that. Some are insistent on doing it the old way. They're continuing to make their cold calls and do all that stuff, which will work. It just doesn't work as well as it used to, and it's harder than it used to be. It'll still work. In the meantime, you and I can do what we're doing, which is, and we'll get into the networking component here in a minute. We can just go out, be in the community, meet people, generate referrals, because quite honestly, here's a secret that nobody wants to talk about. I don't want leads. Don't give me leads. I don't want to have to call them 8 times to get their attention. I don't want to have to nurture them for a year. I want referrals. Tell me who's ready to do something. And what we're generating is referrals. I close on a deal here in 6 days. That was a referral. off of a video. I closed on one a couple weeks ago that was a referral off of a video. I don't want leads. Don't give me hundreds of leads because I just don't want to sit there and call them. But I will take referrals, and that's what I'm trying to build is a network of referrals, a database and a network of referrals.
Yeah. And referrals have a higher conversion rate and everything like that.
Oh, way higher.
They're perfectly fine, right? Coming in, let them go through the AI nurture process and everything else like that. But the coveted prize is referrals in our business, and more so, the referral comes from the relationship.
Right.
So we're in the relationship building business. That's what we're doing. I mean, what we did yesterday, the couple of tours that I've been on, the meetings that we're having and stuff like that, the people we're being introduced to were previously, what's the word I'm looking for? Unavailable. Let's just say it that way.
Yep.
The people that we're meeting, talking to, and being introduced to previously were unattainable. They're just unattainable. But because somebody saw I don't need to take the credit like that, because somebody saw one of my videos on Kenny Bunkport and they liked it, and that started a dialogue which invited us to the Chamber of Commerce, which introduced us to these other people. We did 2 tours with them. We just got done filming them yesterday. We're doing a video for them for their marketing and stuff like that in our studio. So you were thinking different, right? You got room, make a studio, have people use it. It's a way to build relationships. Exactly. And now all of a sudden they're introducing us to some of the most important people in Portland, right? We did it on our own. We were told, in the very beginning of doing this, the first question I was asked was, what's the ROI? And what's the ROI on having all these relationships? What's the ROI on being the most seen real estate agent out there?
Infinity.
What's the ROI in having a trusted community source where people can come, land it on information, watch your videos, learn about different restaurants, what life is like there, learn about different businesses that you're networking with and supporting. Oh, by the way, you can search for real estate here too. Yep. What's the ROI? Infinite, but you just have to wait it out and do the work.
Well, it's the thing. Then that's always been the battle in this industry. Is we've been trained to look for the immediate. What's going to give me business today?
What's the
exchange, as you call it. And we've been trained for that. That's why people pay for Zillow leads and all that, because they're hoping that one of those 100 people that comes in is ready to go.
Yeah.
And we're kind of going against the trend, saying, I don't want to call all 100 of those people and find out where they're at and stay in touch for months on end. I just want to find out who's ready to do something and who can make that introduction to me. So it's, I've only been back in production for maybe 3 months. I'm going to close my 7th here in a few weeks. I haven't made a single cold call. I'm not sure if I've made any outbound phone calls at all, period. This has all been referral network out of my database or off the videos, primarily off the videos, because the beauty of it is the videos you make also engage your database. So not only are you bringing in new cold people to your audience and new cold people to your database, but you're also engaging the people that are already in it. Mm-hmm. Because believe it or not, everybody wants to know, well, what should we do this weekend? Oh, here's a cool video on this tour. What are the new restaurants? What's going on in the community? Like, people want to know that stuff. And when you provide it, you engage everybody. So what ends up happening is that naturally you get everybody back paying attention to what you're doing. And that's the beauty of this, is that you're casting this very wide net that captures even the people that you know in it. Did we lose you, JMO? All right, he'll be back. So anyway, so we discuss all this not because we're trying to like rub it in anybody's face. This is what we're doing, but the reality of it is, what we're doing isn't rocket science. It's doable for anybody. But I think we as an industry have been so trained to go after what can I get right now versus what can I create long term. And I used this analogy with somebody a couple of days ago. I said, why is it as an industry we're willing to spend on somebody else's marketing, but we're not willing to invest in our own?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what we're doing. When you're buying Zillow leads and paying Opcity at closing and Realtor.com and name the bazillion lead companies. The scary part is, who makes all the money in this industry? The lead companies. The agents don't. The lead companies do. Yeah. When you're spending on their marketing, and what are they doing?
52 million leads produced last year, 5 million sales.
137 million leads, 5.2 million sales. And so you look at it this year, those leads are way down, closings are way down. We're back in the 4.2 million range, which is like the 2008 level. That's 1 million sales lost. That's for a lot of agents, that was their entire business they don't have right now. Mm-hmm. but we continue to spend on somebody else's marketing rather than investing and doing it ourselves. And that's, I think, what's a little bit different here is that we're saying, look, you guys want to chase Zillow leads. You can, people in my market can have all the leads. I don't want all the leads. I don't want 1,000. I don't want several thousand names in my database of people that are never going to do anything. I just want to know who's ready to do something. And when they're ready, I want them to say, hey, can you help? That's all I want. I don't want to chase all those leads because that is a lot of work. And when you break down your dollar per hour activity, it's super low, but it feels good because like, oh, I got people to call. This is awesome. But like when I get the messages from Set Schedule and OpCity and Zillow and, oh, buy this zip code, it's like, nah, I'm good. I don't want it. Somebody else can have it. Somebody else can spend their money on your marketing because I'm creating my own that is capturing the leads and the interested people long before anybody else's.
I got a call today from a dude, and he says, I'm so and so from wherever, I don't even remember. And Cyclops or Kaleidoscope or something like that. And I said, how can I help? He's like, we're looking to continue to match agents with sellers and blah, 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 blah. And wherever he said Springville or something like that. I'm like, where's Springville? He goes, Maryland. I said, I've never been licensed in Maryland. Why the fuck are you calling me? And the guy didn't know what to do. I'm like, listen, if you're going to call and try to solicit somebody, you should know where they are.
Or did he mean Springville, Maine, which is next to Sanford?
No,
Maybe he had no idea who he was calling about.
Yeah, and I don't even, the spring. What is it? That's Sanford, right?
Yeah, Springville, right next to Sanford.
Yep. Yeah, I'll get my own. Thanks.
No, and that's the funny part is these lead companies, they're everywhere. I get multiple messages a week, text messages and voicemails from people that want to match me with pre-qualified leads, and I'm like, no, you don't.
Heck,
you're running some generic Facebook ad that's spitting out some names. You just want to see if you can sell them to me. I'm good. I don't want them.
And what they're giving you, and this is the thing that drives me nuts in this industry, that's not a lead.
It's not. It's a suspect.
Yeah, right? That's an inquiry. That's a suspect. Until you have that name, until you have the needs assessment of that particular person, that's when it starts to become a lead. Okay? But that's not a lead, Big Tom 22 at AOL.com on the phone number of 207-222-2222 is not a lead. So when somebody says, oh, I got 100 leads from this company, and you didn't, you got to learn to do it your own self and your own unique voice. In my opinion, empowerment. That's the word. That's a core word of our organization and our mission statement. We empower the individual. We empower the agent to be able to run their business, be able to brand themselves, to be able to be self-sufficient in the lead generation world, to empower the agent to be able to build an ecosystem to get referrals from. Okay. We empower the agent because things are changing in our industry, and they're not changing for your benefit.
Yep.
They're changing to get rid of you because they want your big, fat, juicy commission. They really do. That's going to happen. It's going to happen in the mortgage world.
Commission's been under attack for years.
Yeah, it's happening. And it then will happen in the real estate. And anybody that says, oh, the real estate agent is needed for blah, blah, then you're naive, and I'm saying it now. I've done your job for 20 years. I need somebody to do the negotiation, the contract part, opening doors and all that other stuff. You can pay somebody to do that. Mm-hmm. Okay? You can pay a Montanchi to do that. So what if everything then becomes just online? It's happening. And guarantee in 10 years, it'll be here.
It is.
Gen Z will be buying their home all on their phone.
Well,
mortgage too, everything all the way to close in 2 weeks.
Well, and that's why as an agent, if you have those services and you have the attention of the consumer like that, you built a moat around your business. You are much harder to take out if you're more than just a phone calling salesperson, because without that established brand, I know brand is a word that people kind of go, brand, what does that mean? But really, if people in your marketplace don't know who you are and what you stand for, then you'll be the first one gone, because why is it that shoe companies all over the world have popped up and they make them super cheap, but yet Nike still stands tall? Because everybody knows the brand. Does Nike make the best sneaker? Probably not. They make a good one. Why do people spend an insane amount of money on Air Jordans? What's different about them? Nothing, but they got the flying Jordan on them. That's what makes them worth money.
They got the status.
Exactly. It's all about brand. It's like, why do people spend the money they spend on a Mercedes? Is it made any differently really than most of the cars on the road? Not really, no. Is it a little bit nicer? Sure. But My Toyota is going to outlive most of your Mercedes, and I paid a third of the price for it. So
Best
branding,
car I ever owned was a Honda Pilot. I mean,
yeah, exactly. And honestly, it's not the most expensive car on the road. Doesn't have to be. So branding, I know everybody kind of goes blah branding, but when you think about real estate in your market, and I use the example of Ryan Serhant. When you think about real estate in New York, everybody thinks of Ryan Serhant. When you think of real estate in your market, who do people think of? And the reality of it is it's probably not you. Because when you go search real estate agent in pick your market, who pops up? When you search for home sales in my market, or when you search for restaurants in this area, you're going to find all the other agents that pop up. Those are the ones that are very hard to get rid of because they're going to continue to show up.
they're innovators.
Whereas, exactly, and they're innovating because as the industry changes, because I would ask anybody, look at your call numbers. You're probably getting far less answers than you used to. You're getting even fewer calls back. I would say check your text message numbers. You're getting far less responses than you used to. Check your Facebook ad lead cost. I bet that's gone up quite a bit because there's a lot of noise. Do they still work? They absolutely still work, but the numbers you have to do now to get the same result are reaching a point where it's almost impossible to do it. You can't make, if you used to make 100 calls to get 20 contacts, maybe that's 200 or 300 calls now to get 20 contacts. When that becomes 400 and 500, you won't be able to do it. You just won't be able to get enough of that done during the day. So you've got to, I always, use the Wayne Gretzky analogy of you got to skate where the puck is going. Everything's going online. If you're not online, then you're just continuing to make your job harder.
Yeah.
And that's the networking piece.
I want to talk about the tales of the two Garys for a minute.
Okay.
Because what we're talking about, and here's the thing. I stopped chasing people. I made it a point to try to stop chasing people and stop trying convincing people. And what I'm about to say has a swear in it. So cover your ears if you got little kids around. Fuck you, follow me. That's my new saying. And I don't mean it to be mean. I don't mean it. Again, I'm done trying to convince everybody over here to do it. I'm just going to do it. You can watch the results instead. Okay?
Yes.
And same, you're doing it too, and we're getting the results, right? Now, two things is in 2011, I think it was 2011, I went to family reunion in Orlando. So whenever it was in Orlando, maybe it was 2010 or 12, I don't know. But when it was in Orlando, Gary Keller said that teams and mega teams are the future because it's going to get so expensive to buy Zillow leads, to gain market share, that being part of a team most likely is the most profitable path forward for majority of people. And I'm paraphrasing, okay? But that's what he said. The teams and mega teams are the future. In 2016, Gary Vaynerchuk. So here's one of the top people in the real estate industry, true visionary, right?
Mm-hmm.
True visionary,
100%.
And here's another true visionary in the whole social media video space is Gary Vaynerchuk. And he said that you need to consider yourself a media company, not just a real estate company. But all you people sit here and tell me it don't work, it won't work, and all these other things. There's two people. Tell them. I would compare. If your P&L is more than either of those, then I will listen to you. But if it's not, then shut up and listen to them. Don't listen to me. Shut up and listen to Gary Keller, one of the top influencers in our industry and top visionary as well. And Gary Vaynerchuk, probably the top influencer in the social media space. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to Harrison. Don't listen to these two
pause there for a second, Johnny Mo.
kind of guys.
Yeah, pause there for a second. So think about it. So how did Gary Vaynerchuk grow his business and his profile and his presence?
YouTube.
Video. He was the wine guy. He created wine videos every day forever before anybody knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
And then his brand blew up online. Keller Williams didn't grow until Gary wrote the MREA book. That book was what unlocked KW's growth. Again, it was a piece of content he put in front of people. The market needed the guidebook. He wrote it, and that brought everybody in. Keller Williams didn't grow because Gary made 500 cold calls a day. No, they grew because he wrote a book and he answered the questions the industry had, and he put it right in front of them and said, hey, here it is. Check it out. Come read this book. And people went, wow, I want to be in business with that guy because he knows what's going on. It's the same thing we're doing. It's all about creating the videos that answer the questions that people in your area have and putting it in front of them so they watch them and then go, oh, wow, I like what these people have to say. I want to work with them. It's the same idea. They just did it with a different medium, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. So Here's the power of video. This is a paradigm shift. Okay. And it's not just as simple. Just I'm going to dispel something out there. Most of these gurus are telling you that they're making $10 billion a year off of Facebook are full of shit, or they're in a market that is, you just throw a hook in the water and you got 10 fish, right? There's some markets around this country that are growing ridiculously fast. And if you have a half a brain, you can grow a team of 30 people and be doing 300 million in sales. It's not brain science. It's all to do with the market. But you do have to capture that attention some way. So the power of video, Vaynerchuk's business, his family's wine business, went from 3 million a year, which they had at their brick front, to, I think when he was done, 60 million.
60 million.
60 million is the last number I remember. Then he started VaynerMedia, and a couple of years ago, he said that company's worth 200 million. Don't listen to me, though. Don't listen to him either. Yep. Go ahead. Where can I buy leads? Go ahead. Who's got the 10, who can I get the best calling data from? Go ahead. Keep doing it. Phone calls are becoming less effective because you can't get me. You call me, you're a telemarketer, I instantly block you.
Yep.
Right? I instantly block you.
Well, and the caller ID now, ID now says spam likely. Like it's telling you right out of the gate, this is a number that pops up a lot. You probably shouldn't answer.
And the younger generations, Gen Zs, definitely millennials, most of them will never have a home phone number.
No.
They operate on their device. And if you're not delivering to that device with their eyes up, and again, gang, it's not as simple, right, Harrison? It's not as simple. Our strategy isn't post to YouTube and magical things happen.
Yeah, it's not. That's only part of it.
YouTube is just a percentage of the overall digital marketing strategy. The true power of the video isn't the video. The true power of the video is how the video makes people feel, and using that video as a tool to create a relationship with somebody. We wouldn't have these relationships with this chamber, with this other organization, a couple other businesses, if we didn't do the video. Right. So what's my ROI on a relationship who is going to introduce me to some of the most instrumental people in the city, allowing us to bring together chef owners, small businesses and things together where we create our own ecosystem? What's the ROI on that? Shit, I don't think a calculator in the world can go that high.
It's infinity, and it'll take care of you forever. And that's I think a lot of gurus say, well, make videos and put them on YouTube. Okay. Like that's 20% of the strategy. The other part is, how do you optimize them? How do you drive traffic to them? How do you utilize them to create the network? And that's the piece that I think that's where you and I coming together has really merged those two concepts, and the fact that it's not just make the video and put it out there. It's make the right video, put it out there in a way where people find it, put yourself in front of that traffic, and then how do you use that video to open the doors to other conversations? Because the intent of this is not to have a awesome YouTube channel. It's to have a YouTube channel that is a resource to the community that is connecting you to everybody else. So when people, again, back to the idea of branding, when people think of real estate, they think of you. When they think of the community, they think of you. When they think of that area, you're like, oh, I know I got to talk to John because he'll know where I should move to, where the best neighborhoods are, where the best restaurants are, who the best employers are. That's the stuff people care about. They don't care that you just sold a house. Nobody cares you just sold a house. And I know that the industry's trained us to show, look at us, just sold in 46 minutes. All that tells the consumers you didn't do jack. You put a sign in the yard and it sold itself.
But you're worth your fee.
All right. That's the hard part. I think that the industry's changed, and a lot of people in the industry are not changing. And do you have to change? No. I mean, you, as I say all the time, you need to do what is authentic to you. If you are a cold caller and you don't mind sitting there for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours a day, just banging out calls, awesome. That'll work. I would honestly rather go work at Starbucks than sit in front of my phone for 6 hours and make phone calls. I won't do it. But I'll go make videos and I'll do interviews. And so in all this, what started off with just some cool short form videos turned into a meeting with the chamber, turned into a meeting with business owners, turned into introductions to a handful of others. Now we're also getting brought to the travel and tourism group here in Portland to help them. We're working on a partnership with a local regional bank to potentially help them kind of show their customers, really show their customers off and show off the area. And now we're going to be in front of such a large audience that people can't get away from us. And it gets to the concept of being omnipresent. Now people are seeing us on YouTube and Facebook and everybody else's Facebook and other companies' Facebooks and friends' Facebooks. And we're sphere hacking at a level that is off the charts. So because of that, I'm not going to make any cold calls because I don't have to. I don't have to make cold calls because I'm going to start building a database that's just going to be check-ins. Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going on? What's new? But what's funny about this whole thing is that there are several very well-established agents in the markets that we're in right now that have never gone to the chamber meeting and said, "Hey, how can I help you guys?" Never approached them. Never gone to the tourism group and said, "Hey, like, what do you guys need?" Because I don't think as agents we're trained to ask that question. We're trained to think about what's in it for us. And that's where this networking component is so big. And does it pay you immediately? No, it doesn't pay you immediately, but to close 7 or 8 transactions in 3 months, I would say that pays all right. We're going to be okay.
Right. Your
And it's
network
going to
is your
continue
net
to build
worth.
from there. Yeah. And that's where the momentum comes from. The momentum comes from the relationships that you build. The purpose of the videos is to use the videos to take the friction away, to create the introductions, to get the meeting in person. That's what you're trying to do.
You know what? And here's the thing, right? You know what this costs? It doesn't really cost any money to produce a video. Truthfully, anybody can shoot a video on their iPhone. I predominantly use iPhone. Hell, we had trouble with my Mac connecting. You're like, oh, it looks all grainy and stuff. So I was just like, done with that. Let me just plug in my iPhone. I'm on my iPhone right now, right?
Yep.
I use it for everything. When I'm shooting videos, I shoot it in 1080 DPI at 60 frames per second. I don't need anything more than that. It looks good. It looks crisp. The thing is, it doesn't really cost any money. Now, my videos might cost lunch. What it cost us yesterday for 2 sandwiches, $30.
Sure,
right?
Ish.
Right. And so, we're at a new norm where a sandwich made with love and it's really good is going to cost you $14-15. That's just the way it is, right?
Yep.
So we spent $30 on lunch. We made some videos from that, but we also talked to the owners, and you are going back to do a long form video, go through the process of making their bagels, their English muffins, because they're well known for their English muffins.
Yeah,
and we're going to put that together and hear their story. And guess what? That gets thousands of views from their friends and their family members, right? So it doesn't cost anything to go. Like, we're in Maine, right? So I'm only going to use Maine. We got ocean walks and cliff walks and all these other things. We are huge with tourism. We have millions of people that come our way every year. People come visit and then they want to live here. That's real. People come here to visit, then they want to live here because the quality of life here is pretty pissa, right? The food is the best. I'll put our food scene against any food scene in the country.
It's amazing.
It's as good. Right? Best seafood. If you're in Las Vegas and you're eating Maine lobster, guess what? I had to get from Maine to there. I'm eating it off the guy who pulled it off his boat 2 hours ago. Yours ain't going to be better. I don't care what chef cooks it. Right? This guy steamed it to perfection like he did a million other times. And all he gave you to flavor it with was butter. And it was perfect. Right? Yep. That's it. That's a perfect lobster dinner. Steam for 13 minutes. Boom. Right? Yep. But anyways, it doesn't cost much money. Mine do, because I have a different flair, different vibe, what I'm doing and everything else like that. One day I'll be subsidized, or there'll be enough views on the TikTok channel or YouTube channel that it pays for itself or whatever like that. Not part of the business plan at all. But it doesn't cost a lot. I went out for a coffee. I made a quick little video about the coffee place. Cost me $2.38. You can go on a cliff walk. You can go down to the Wiggly Bridge. You can go down to a million different ports where the boats are and just make a quick little video talking about it, right? You can get yourself a drone. Make sure you get certified or licensed or whatever you do. Do drone. One of my most popular things is I take drone shots and I'm like, where am I? Where in Maine?
Those are fun.
Right? Because what I'm looking for is engagement. I don't consume a lot of social media. I produce a lot of social media. I'm a creator, and therefore that creates the engagement that allows me to talk with people. As a result of that, we have what we have.
Yep. Yeah,
right?
100%.
And that's just one. That's just one town. That doesn't include going to Sanford and the people I met up in Sanford a couple of weeks back, and the continued work that's going to happen up there. That doesn't include the work that we're going to start doing in Biddeford. Now that the office is there and just about to be ready to be open, now we're going to have a true home base that we can work from, right? We're just going to, and you don't need to dominate the world. You just need to dominate here. And one of the problems I think most people have with YouTube and why they quit is because they're like, I only got 500 views. But if it's 500 people from your area, then you're winning.
Right.
It doesn't matter if somebody's seeing, who cares if New York's watching your video? It's too many people are chasing vanity metrics, where what you need to do is use the video, have a vision, and build something. I'm about to say something very controversial right now, every real estate agent in the world has been taught that you are the brand. That's so small-minded, in my opinion. You're much bigger than self. So be something bigger than self. I'm Explore Maine Life, Explore New Hampshire Life, right? That's who I am. That's what I live through. That's how I promote my business. And when people ask, well, every one of my videos talks about real estate. Visit exploremainelife.com for more videos like this, to make a suggestion or to search for real estate in your area. The traffic on my website is going through the roof because people go in there to look. Right? It's not they're going to get there. How can I help you sell your house? How can I help you buy your house? 15 reasons to hire me. It's like, hey, here's what life is like here. Small businesses we all, working. Town tours, best restaurants, best lobster rolls, right? Here's your real estate information. Oh, by the way, if you want to search, here's the one search bar, very simplistic. It's not real estate regurgitation, which is I think our difference. I think that's the difference of why people engage, is because it's diffused a little bit with good content that people want to consume.
It is. It's giving people what they want, putting it where they're searching for it, and then letting them have it. It's back to the old days. Everybody wants forced registration on their website, and I want to know who you are the minute you hit there. And what does that cause? The bounce rate on those websites is crazy high. We're not trying to do that. Just come on in, take a look, see what you like, and when you're ready to do something, let us know. It's the same reason, like when you walk into any department store, help you anything? Nope, all set. But when you need something, what do? You go find that person because they presented themselves to you as available. So yeah, we're there when you need us, but we're not going to be like in your face trying to get you to do something you're not ready to do. But we're going to educate you and inform you and show you the area and help you make that decision of where you're going to live, because it's an important one. And then a lot of people ask, well, conversion and how do you generate business off of that? A lot of people just raise their hands, but the other piece of it too, and shout out to Luigi Alvarez, we've been doing some stuff with. It's also building funnels off of this. It's when people are ready, it's giving them a path. It's giving them a direction of how to get ready. It's all right. Are you thinking about buying a home? Okay, click this link, and now you kind of go down this path. You send them on their journey to get ready to buy a home, sell a home, invest in real estate, whatever that might be. And one of the things that we're doing is not only are we generating leads off videos, we're generating some leads off some ads. I've had great luck generating home value leads with a basic Facebook ad. And then you drive them to a funnel, and you kind of take them through the journey and you help them get ready. And so in the meantime, this is all happening. You're effectively pre-qualifying, educating, and preparing a client to do something, and you're doing nothing. Like it's all system done. Like you made the video one time, you made the ad one time, you created the funnel one time, and you just keep running people through it. And what they like about it is a somewhat personalized experience. You're answering their questions as they go. You're providing them the value that they need. You're giving them what they need to get ready, but you're not like trying to close them. You're not forcing anything on them. You're letting them go on this journey at their own pace, because when they come out the other end, they're like, oh yeah, I'm ready to go. And then you get that phone call or that message they're all set. Like let's set an appointment. And it's all automated and happening for you. And that's really where this industry is going to go, is that you're going to need to be able to take people on that journey, because they're not going to take your calls. They're not going to respond to your text messages. They don't want your, Joe Schmo realtor newsletter that's all about what you can do. They want to be, canned newsletter. They want to be educated. They want to be informed, maybe entertained to a certain extent, but they want to know that like you're actually interested in what they want, versus just trying to jam a sale down on them because you want to get paid.
Yeah. So my friend, this term, ARPU, average revenue per unit.
Yep.
And Saul Klein talks a lot about ARPU when I talked to him, or the webinars we did. And just to put it in context really quickly, I don't want to talk about his business, but just real quickly, he was a real estate broker. He also became a tax advisor, so he could do your taxes, but he also became a certified financial planner. I don't know if he's got 663 or 7, you know what I mean? But he's got something that allows him to be certified financial planner, because now you're working with somebody who can do their taxes and save the money. Average revenue per unit, right? So in this context, ARPU stands for average attention per user, right? Mm-hmm. So if you are able to put out a video and they consume that video, and they subscribe, or they're pixelated, whatever it is, when you put out the next one, they're going to see that too. So the goal is one turns. You know that a penny every day doubling is over $1 million within 30 days,
Yep.
right? So that's the same concept with video. Is it doesn't go away. Reels do, right? Reels come, they go, and then they're gone, and they might get seen a little bit in the future. But if you put out solid video content, but then back that up with a digital strategy, that lives on forever. It really lives on forever. And when you start getting 15,000 views, 20,000 views, 13,000 views, and your subscriber rate's going up, mine's right now is an average of 3.5 per day, new subscribers, right? So when YouTube, when your channel starts to become interesting to the consumer, YouTube algorithm takes notice of that and say, hey, people are watching this video. Currently right now, I forget the exact number, but it equates to about 40 days of content being watched over the last 28 days, nonstop content over the last 28 days.
Right.
Right. Average 682 views per day. Tell me a billboard that gives me that.
Right. Well, it's, and you know, your cold calls and your direct mail and all that is great for that moment in time. You know, when you make that cold call, it's only good for the contacts you make. That piece of direct mail is only good the time they get it. But that video is out there forever. So that person could search for whatever that term is and find it over and over and over again. And I mean, I closed a deal a couple months ago off of a video I made a year ago. That was the video they found that brought them in because it was what answered the question they had. They're like, oh, like we'd love your help because you know this actually answered a question. I made that a year ago. It had just been sitting out there being seen by whoever was looking for it, and it prompted somebody to say, "Oh, you helped me. I need your help. I need help like this." Because the video is always prospecting for you. It's prospecting on autopilot.
Mm-hmm. So I often talk about you need two types of lead sources, active and passive.
Yep.
Right. So video is one of the most active things and one of the most passive things you can do. These phones with their reminders, I got it on don't call. You know, I took the little phone symbol, but I get a phone call. Oh, because Wi-Fi dialing. I mean, goddamn, can I just record something without all these distractions? Anyways, the hype machine is real. My book is packed because I'm moving. The hype machine is real. Be part of it, either contributing or be part of it as consuming. Your choice. I would rather be the part that's creating, because out of that creation, I can promise you in my market, there might be five people doing it. One company, they got all their agents doing it. Man, they look like Mainers, right? They all got their shit kickers on. They got their jeans on. They got their flannels on, right? Or they got their Carhartt on.
Yep,
and
guys
stuff
up
like
north.
that. They're not dressing up like they're from San Diego. And I'm okay with that because that's me too, right? Be you. But they dominate, right? They dominate, and I get to come in every one. Why do they dominate? Because they're consistently putting out videos. And when I get a chance to talk to them, they're like, "No, we got a ton of inquiries from that, but we just constantly put out one, and they're not excellent." And I don't mean this in a disparaging way.
No,
I mean it as an encouraging way. Just hit record. They don't have to be perfect.
This is not Hollywood.
Right? But I can guarantee you, it's a promise from God that if you don't do it, it won't work.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And
I can't hear you.
Say I not muted on my end. But it is true in the sense that this is not Hollywood. Nobody expects Hollywood. People just want to see you, the authentic version of you. So if you're in all your videos with a suit and tie and you show up to meet them in jeans and a collared shirt, they're going to be like, this isn't the same person I saw in the videos. Just be you. You know, if you're looking for an agent who shows up in a suit and tie, I'm not the guy for you. And I'm not going to put on a suit and tie to appease you either. Like, it's just not my style. So not me. I'm going to show up in videos in a collared shirt and some jeans because that's what I wear. And to me, it's not about the clothes I wear. It's about whether or not I can help you. Now, will some people be turned off by the fact that I don't show up in a suit and tie? Great. But those are the people I don't want to work with anyway. So I'm okay letting them go. But you're going to get authentic me. This is how I talk. This is how I am in real life. You're not going to be surprised. You're not going to watch my video, then have me show up at your door and go, those are two different people. No, I'm going to give you you're going to see authentic me, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this isn't Hollywood. Nobody expects your videos to be produced and production quality. I mean, look at some of the biggest people out there. their videos aren't Hollywood production quality. And 9 times out of 10, they're shooting a video on their iPhone as they're walking down a hallway. Ryan Serhant's filming videos in the back of his SUV as he's driving to an appointment. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody wants perfect. They just want real. That's what they want.
I think if you grow your hair to give it a little whoopee in the front, you two could be confused.
I know. Wouldn't that
be his
wouldn't that
doppelganger?
Yeah. So, all right, Johnny Mo, we got to start to wrap it up here. So let's come up with a parting thought for today.
Parting thought is, listen, man, if you want to stay in the same place as you did last year, the year before, and the year before that, I'm not judging.
No.
Sometimes that's okay. I know people my age that say, if I'm in the same, they're not entrepreneurs, they're not real estate agents. They say, if I'm doing the same exact thing a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, I'm good. Now, to me, that's complacency is the death of the entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur's job is to innovate. Now, I want you to take your blinders off for a minute, remove all the biases you want for a minute. If you truly want to succeed in this business, you need the right people, you need the right tools around you. I'm going to give you an opportunity that I'm opening this up to a very small group of people. I will mentor you. I threw this out there last week. One person responded. I got 5,000 friends. One person responded. So obviously everybody out there is doing well. They don't need any kind of mentorship. Yeah. They don't need any kind of training or anything else like that.
Which we know the industry stats are showing right now that at least 80 to 85% of agents right now are struggling and have either one or no deals in their pipeline. So there's no way everybody out there is good. There are definitely people that need help.
So throughout this, my friend reached out to me, Luigi, who I've known for years. Heck, I was talking to him before he got his license. I've helped him through lots of things, get launched in his business. Now he's selling, a bunch of homes, and now he's doing funnels and AI and all sorts of other things. As a result of him mentioning me, I had about 8 other people that reached out to me directly and said, "Oh my God, you've been so instrumental to helping me," and this and that, blah, 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 blah. All these positive things. And I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, right? It's just par for the course. But it shows me that part of that mentorship, listen, I'm getting paid. I'm either going to get paid this side or I'm going to get paid that side. Over here, you're paying a monthly charge. Over here, we're in business together. I want to see you succeed and do everything I can to help you succeed. But then people are like, "Oh, I don't want to switch." Okay, then you don't see the opportunity there because you have biases to where you are. And you might like it there, and I'm not judging anybody. It's not for everybody. But don't discount it until you look at it. And you truly look at it and how it impacts you, not today, but over the next 10 years. Because I guarantee that if I ask every one of you a question, are you going to be in this business over the next 10 years? All y'all going to be selling homes in a walker. That's your exit strategy. That's your exit strategy. Don't bullshit me. That is, if you make it in this real estate, you're going to be 86 years old. Gotta go show, I can't make it to the barbecue today, grandkids. I gotta go show a condo. Because that is our industry. I've witnessed it around the country. However, I am making cold, hard cash. I'm not talking about rev share. I'm not talking about the bags of stock that they're giving me. I'm talking about in my own business, I'm $250,000 richer over the next decade. That's my exit strategy right there. That's a new 2-family. That's a new 4-family. 250 is down on a commercial building. That's my money. I don't need a bunch of fat in the middle taking my money anymore. This is 2023, people. You can either get on board or get left behind, because the bus, we're always room for one more, but the bus is warmed up and ready to go. Always room for one more. Yep. Are you willing to do what it takes over the next 5 years to 10 years to be a millionaire? Because that's what's possible with the right mentorship, systems, and tools.
It is. And a declining market in a recessionary environment is where growth happens. It's where market share is taken. This is the best time to be digging deeper. And, and you mentioned the mentorship. We also have opportunities for people to join our network and work directly with us. And, this is not a team structure in the sense that, you're going to co-list with us and our name is all over it and we're going to take half your commission. No, this is a much higher split. It's a package of services. It's your name. It's your brand. We're just supporting it. We're the back end of it. And, You don't lose your autonomy. You don't lose your name. You don't lose your MLS ID. We're not looking for that. We don't need the credit and the headlights. Headlines. We just want people to succeed. We know we have a system that works, and we'd love to give it to other people to use. And obviously just keep and be paid for what piece we deliver. But it doesn't have to be our name, our brand, our logo. It's your business, your name, your face, our tools, our support, our training, our coaching, our tech. But it's all you other than that. We don't need the credit.
I'm going to ask you, do you know AI? Do you know smart plans? Do you know funnels? Do you know digital marketing? Do you know advertisement, what the current advertisement rules are? Do you know video editing? Do you know video optimization, SEO? Do you know all of these things? Because that's what our team does. It's not me. It's a team. Multiple people, multiple layers, all around the world, all specialists in what they do. Yeah. That's what we offer.
And there's case studies of massive growth that if you want to see them, but either way, that's available to people. I've actually got a interview here in a little under an hour with another local business owner that's going to create another referral relationship that's going to open other doors. That's what we're doing. That's how we're building and growing.
Piece of shit.
Even in this bad market or this difficult market, it doesn't change. We're continuing to build the network, explode the network, build the business, grow the business using all these tools and resources. If you want them, they're available. If you don't, that's totally fine too. But it's what we're doing. So with that, Johnny Mo, we'll head out for the day. Always good to see you. Peace.